at 7.
Okay, one of the big ones coming up, the Chipping Norton Stakes. The favourite, Dr. Grace, a 3-year-old named after that legendary English cricketer from the early part of the century. We've done a bit of research on William George Grace. Ken, he scored 56,000 runs in first-class cricket over about 40-odd years, took 2,700 wickets, 871 catches, and quite often argued with the umpire when given out. He flatly refused to walk on a few occasions, I believe. I'll tell you what, he'd have walked if Dr. Jeff Chapman had been the umpire.
John, I think he refused to walk because he wasn't used to getting out. Me, I'm still flabbergasted by Joanne. How did she get beaten? That's why bookies are going home in their Mercedes and I'm walking home or borrowing a push bike. Let's look at these prices. Number 1, Lord Highbrow, is at 33 to 1. Lygon Arms at 6 to 1. $4.20, about 13 to 4, Billy Asset. 20, Palace Revolt. 10, Research. 10 to 9 into 10 to 9 on now, Dr. Grace. He's my tip, but gee, short odds, isn't he? But he's 10 to 9 on, about $1.90 for $1. 20 Counterfeit, 10 to 1 Classic Chick. And Tristano, of course, was scratched this morning, which has robbed the race of a lot of its interest. But Dr. Grace is a promising 3-year-old. Let's see how he goes. Here's Johnny.
Righto, Keno, and they're about set. 1 to move in, and they'll be away in the Chipping Norton, $200,000 in prize money. Now, Research moves in to complete the line, and they're set and ready for a start. As the starter, Bill Cooper, comes over to release the field. 1,600 metres, $200,000 in prize money. Track cleared. About to break. Billy Asset, the inside runner. Dr. Grace wants to sit back just a whisker. Starter not satisfied with him. He hasn't picked up the button as yet. Now Dr. Grace is bobbing around in the stall. Counterfeit stands well with Ligon Arms. Perfect conditions and a fast track. Classic Chick might be a little edgy in the gate. A couple of attendants are in there now giving assistance to some of these jockeys. Now the starter's ready. Off and running in the Chipping Norton. Classic Chip seemed to get sandwiched between horses and was pushed back to the tail of the field. Billy Asset bounced out in front, joined straight away by Counterfeit, followed by Research and Dr. Grace, who'll settle 4th on the outside. Making ground quickly after a slow start, Classic Chick, and a gap then to Ligon Arms and Lord Highbrow, and last is Palace Revolt. Down the back to the 1,200 metres mark, and Billy Asset in front going very keenly. He's under a throttle hold, in fact, led by a bit more than a length to Counterfeit. Classic Chick improving on the fence to be 3rd, followed by Dr. Grace, and Research is obliged to race 3 deep at the moment. 2 lengths away, Ligon Arms, a neck to Lord Highbrow, and a length and a half away last is Palace Revolt as they go to the 900 mark. And Billy Asset led about a neck on Counterfeit. Research 3rd on the outside of Dr. Grace. Classic Chick on the inside. 2.5 then to Lord Highbrow and Ligon Arms together, and 2 lengths away last Palace Revolt. 700 out in the Chipping Norton, and Billy Asset just led Counterfeit with Research striding up to make a line of 3. A length and a half to Classic Chick on the inside of Dr. Grace. Lord Highbrow now being stoked along, followed by Ligon Arms, and Palace Revolt is the trailer. To the turn, 500 metres out, Billy Asset about a neck on Counterfeit. A length and a half away, Dr. Grace easing to the outside, but hard-ridden as they turn the corner, and then Research dropping off with Ligon Arms at the head of the others, but straightening up. The 2 leaders got away from Dr. Grace momentarily. Billy Asset just led Counterfeit. Dr. Grace under the whip, making no headway at the moment. Billy Asset shot clear. He's pinched a good break on Dr. Grace. Ligon Arms bursting through in the centre. Now Dr. Grace is fairly flying in the last bit. Ligon Arms on the inside, but Dr. Grace got there after looking 50 to 1 in the straight. He beat Ligon Arms. Billy Asset 3rd, crowded near the line, followed by Counterfeit, Palace Revolt, and then Lord Highbrow, and the last couple of Research and Classic Chick. Well, there was a classic example of a horse who was needing more ground, Dr. Grace, but he was still able to win. So class overcomes all obstacles. Number 6, Dr. Grace, a treble for Jay Cassidy, and it's $1.90 and $1.30. Ligon Arms 2nd, Larry Olsen, $1.80, and Billy Asset number 3 3rd to pay $1.50. Halfway down the straight, it looked as though Dr. Grace was out beyond any shadow of doubt, but he finally punched one for 6, and home he got in the Chipping Norton Stakes. Okay, a break, and then more on Wide World of Sports.
In the hard times, in the hard times, in the hard times.
South Wales TAB dividends for Sydney Race 6, the Chipping Norton Stakes over 1,600 metres. Now, the correct numbers, 6, 2 and 3. Dr Grace, Kenny's tip coming up, $1.90 and $1.30. Ligon Arms, or Ligon Arms, depending on what part of Carlton you come from, $1.80. And Billy Asset paying $1.50. All right, Kenny.
Racing now, and two convalescing trainers received pick-me-ups today. Bart Cummings, who's recovering from knee surgery, won his 7th Newmarket with Gold Trump, and Colin Hayes, resting after a severe angina attack, won the first 3 races at Flemington. He started with Wandering Duke at 9-4, who's going over to America now to contest a $1 million race next month. He defeated the favourite Sharp As. The second went to Steel Sculptress, who's now been won first up on 3 occasions. She was 9-4 in favourite. Road Song won the third on the program. She's been set for the Golden Slipper Stakes. The Blood Horse Breeders was race 4, the favourite Holiday Lover.
Leaves and Claire's Girl. Holiday Lover fights back on the inside, and Apollo Wonder. Holiday Lover about a head in front of Apollo Wonder. Holiday Lover just in front of Apollo Wonder, dives again. Bobbing finished this. Holiday Lover and Apollo Wonder, nothing between the pair of them. Claire's Girls probably run third just in front of
Apollo Wonder just got the money, a bob of the head, and got there at 14-1. Might now be sent for a spell. Now the Newmarket.
With those, and then Dark Bow. Back behind them, Tango Master, Strawberry Ranch under the whip. The grandstand headed by Franklin Drive under pressure. Lonely Dreamer goes after it. Followed further back by running on as Acid Prit. And then Beau George on the flat side now and there. It's a lightning bend in front. Here's Gold Trump out of the pack. Gold Trump is mowing them down with 100 to go. Got the lightning bend. Gold Trump reels in the lead. Gold Trump for Cummings wins it. Gold Trump from Lightning Bend second. Tango Master in third.
And a great training triumph to get Gold Trump to the track after breaking down on 2 occasions. As we go to the 6th on the card.
Go-Pack has gone to the lead. He's drawn a length and a half clear. Full at last, finishing well. Reasoning in the clear. Go-Pack in front, 50 to go. Reasoning picking him back. It's Go-Pack by a neck, and Go-Pack beat Reasoning. Third Full at last, 3/4 away. And
Go-Pack beautifully ridden by Greg Hall at 5-1, but Reasoning and Full at last looked a little unlucky. As we go to the stayers now, Dalmatinska was well backed.
Sea Legend Chantaroon, but the mare's got it well won, Dalmatinska, holding Sea Legend at bay. And Dalmatinska well clear of Sea Legend and Chantaroon. Then Safawn running on, but Dalmatinska bolts in, wins it by 3 lengths, Sea Legend. Third, Chantaroon just held on.
20s into 15-1, and Dalmatinska got the money over the favourite Sea Legend, and Chantaroon, heavily backed, 8s into 4s was third, and that's the result of the last, taken by Thelma Josephine. Came with a big run to get up and beat Cara's Magic and Reva Gleam. Daily Double, 8 and 14, paid $324.20. The extra, there it is, $33.65 for 2 and 3. Quadrilla, 3825, $3,448.30, and a big quad extra of $12,823.80. Geelong Yacht Brienne.
Popular racehorse in the country, Vo Rogue, gets the chance tomorrow to prove to his critics that he's still a force in racing when he takes on a class field in the $650,000 Australian Cup at Flemington. The Cup is one of the true tests in racing. It's set at weight for age on a great track over a distance of 2,000 metres. Now that's ideal for brilliant horses who have the ability to stay. The race has a long history, but its most memorable moments have occurred in the last 15 years. The 1979 Australian Cup was a classic. The event was run at weight for age for the first time, and that day, 3 champions, Manicato, Family of Man and Dulcify, were up against one another.
Then double century Lloyd Boyd, Dulcify trying to get out from Salamander, Family of Man. With 200 to go, Willits waving the whip at Manicato. The champion 3-year-olds well clear, but Family of Man's flying down the outside. Manicato stopping, and Dulcify will beat them. Dulcify gets the split and gets up the beat Manicato. Third, Family of Man. Fourth, Stormy Rex.
Another famous finish occurred in 1987. The Melbourne Cup winner at Talac was head-to-head with the Cox Plate champion Bone Crusher, and the pair staged a memorable battle.
As he makes his run on the outside, but Talac's got 2 lengths on him. Bone Crusher's going to be everything we thought to get near Talac. Talac a length and a half in front. Bone Crusher trying hard. He's gradually making ground. Bone Crusher coming at Talac. Will the champ get up? He lunges. Yes! Oh, it might be a dead heat. Bone Crusher or a dead heat with Talac. A length and a half. Fox Seal might have got third from I'm a Red Man.
The mighty Bone Crusher got up, but the next year he was off the pace against the new star Vo Rogue. The Vo was being hailed the winner, But one of racing's greatest upsets occurred when Dandy Andy at 125 to 1 came with a steaming finish.
Then Bone Crusher and Bahrain. It's Dandy Andy racing after Bow Rogue. Can it be a boil over? Bow Rogue stopping Dandy Andy's got him. Dandy Andy. Goodness gracious me, Dandy Andy. A length to Bow Rogue. 5 lengths to Bone Crusher third then.
Last year, Vo Rogue was back, up against a new rival, Superimpose, and this time the front runner made no mistake.
Rogue at the distance by 3. Superimpose, our poetic prince are trying to peg him back. The crowd roaring for Vo. It's Vo in front by 2 lengths. Superimpose, our poetic prince are trying to get to him. But go Vo, the champ does it again. Vo Rogue, a length and a half in the Australian Cup. Superimpose second.
Yes, as Brian Martin says, go Vo, and Vo Rogue will be going tomorrow in the big Australian Cup, and it's with a lot of pleasure we welcome Vic Rail, the trainer of Vo Rogue, to Sports World. Vic, he's been a great horse. He's been a great horse for you over the years, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has been very great to me. He's got a little bit of ability, you know.
He's got a lot of ability. I remember the first time I met you, Vic, it was at Moonee Valley one day before the Alistair Clark Stakes about 3 years ago. And I thought, who's this character? You were riding the horse, you didn't shoe the horse, you were back to the old-time methods like Tommy Woodcock. I thought, I'm going to enjoy talking to this fellow, and I did. Remember those days?
I remember that morning, yeah.
We didn't know much about Vo Rogue in those days.
No, when he originally come from Queensland down here, in Queensland he was still a progressive horse, and he was a novice horse in Victoria here, and I think when he come from Queensland he had $9,000 beside his
What's he won now,
money.
Vic?
Just under 2.5, or is it just over? One of the two.
You're talking
2.5
millions?
million, yeah.
You're talking millions?
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. Have you seen a bit of that over the years?
Not really, not quite that much. No, he has been a great horse.
One of the things that is amazing about you, I mean, Colin Hayes, wonderful trainer, Bart Cummings, wonderful trainer, Tommy Smith, wonderful trainer. They don't jump on the back of the horse and ride it in track work. You do.
Yes, my fiancé used to ride him early in his piece when he was an early 2-year-old, and he just never showed his top form, so I elected to take him on, you know, and I rode him, and I've been riding him ever since. As soon as he started to fire, the owner said, I don't want anybody else on his back, only you. So that's how it's operated, you know.
I reckon you'd be a bit heavier than a jockey. What do you weigh?
Well, I'd be around about 78 kilos. I am a little bit overweight, but I don't tell him that. He doesn't know that, so.
It must be lovely when he gets to the track and he's only got 58 on his back then.
Yeah, that's correct. That's what I say. When the jockey gets on him race day, he doesn't know he's on him, you know, so.
Now, Vic, you're a likeable character. You can be a bit fiery every now and then. Do you think that's fair?
You've got to be at that time. Oh, yeah, well, you've got to stand up for yourself, haven't you? You know.
You sure do. Now, you stood up for yourself a couple of weeks ago. There's a very controversial protest in Melbourne in the St George Stakes. You won the race. King's High was interfered with in the straight, and the stewards gave the protest to King's High. Just sit for a moment, Vic. Let's go back and see what you said straight after the race. This is Vic Rail after the race was taken off Vo Rogue a fortnight ago.
Well, I've found out in the past you can't beat them. Let's find out how we can join them. Because we certainly can't beat them, mate.
Will Vo Rogue continue to race in Melbourne?
That's up to the owner. That's not up to me.
Is there a chance that you'll pick up your bat and go home?
No, well, that's not up to me to decide. That is up to the owner. But if they can't produce a better track than what they did last week at Flemington, they may as well let us know now and let the owner know, and then we might go home, mightn't we?
Well, Vic, the good thing is that you didn't go home. You're still here. What's your relationship like with the VRC and the stewards? You getting on pretty well at the moment?
Oh, yes. Like things like this happen in racing. We were very upset over the track rating and everything, and we were very upset after the protests. You know, everybody's got their own opinions. But if I go into a room and it looks bad, I come out and I say to the owner, well, it looks bad. But then when I look at the tape and it looks good, I say, oh, well, no worry, you know, not to worry.
I reckon there must be a lot of pressure on a trainer come big race day. Now, one of your owners particularly, your senior owner is Jeff Perry, the other owner is Gary Roberts, who I think paid a fair bit of money for a 5th share a couple of years ago. Now, it's well known that Gary's a very big punter. He'll have a lot of money on a horse. Does that put a lot of pressure on you as a trainer?
Well, I don't let that worry me. You know, that's, you know, my business. I run my own business. I let him run his own business. He's a very good owner. You know, he's a very big punter. But, you know, I'm not involved in that part of it with him or nothing. So he's a very good owner. He runs his own race. He doesn't bring me into it. He doesn't interfere with me. as far as training the horse and everything. So I would class Gary as a very, very good owner, considering that he is a very good punter, because he doesn't come and whinge to me, you know.
Right. He
He knows that every time I put the horse down, I've put him down the best of my ability. If I could put him down a lot better, I would. But he is very good owner. He leaves that part to me, and we get along quite well together, you know.
Well, I wonder if he'll back him tomorrow. He's at 7-1 at the moment in the Australian Cup. That seems to be incredible odds. Let's have a look at the market for a moment, Vic, because it is a very interesting race. We've got Stylish Century, who's favourite at 5-2. He's the top 3-year-old. Then the 2 Colin Hayes horses, Better Loosen Up, King's Height 4s. Superimpose, who was second in the Melbourne Cup and second to you last year in this race at 5s. You're at 7s, Sedestin and then Kingston Rule. That seems pretty big odds. Would Gary and yourself and maybe Jeff think about having a bet tomorrow?
Well, I don't know about Gary. As far as Jeff Perry goes, we're good mates. He doesn't worry about backing the horse, because when he pays up for the horse, he gets very good odds for the prize money. But I do admit, if the horse does start at ridiculous odds, if they could put up 7-1, well, he just might have a little nibble, you know, because, you know,
they're
that's
good
up
odds
to him. You know, it is very good odds for a horse of his ability.
Can he win tomorrow? He's 6 years of age now. I don't personally think he's as good as he was 2 years ago. I think he's a length and a half or 2 lengths inferior. Can he win this race tomorrow?
Definitely can.
He can win tomorrow?
He could win tomorrow, and he could probably slap their ears at the same time. But then again, the opposition's very hard.
It's tough.
But, you know, he hasn't got anything else to prove. They have, you know.
Sure.
We'll take the favourite, for instance. He hasn't won an Open Company and hasn't won a Weight for Age.
Yeah. Just finally,
So,
Vic, finally and quickly, Stylish Century's a front runner, Vogue a front runner. Are you going to try and lead tomorrow?
well, I don't give the instructions. I can sort of step in and give my opinion, but I leave most of the instructions up to Jeff Perry and C. Small. But I would think leading, you know, we've known through the past and everything, I would say that if we jump out and lead, we'll lead. And I would say that if Stylish Century jumped out and led, I would say that we'll go and park on his outside.
Take him on.
And in other words, we will take him on. He might get a vicious and fight, and we might upset him. But I think if Vo Rogue's travel on the outside of him, I don't think he'll upset Vo at all, because he's known to be a bit of a fighter, you know.
He sure is. Vic, thanks for joining us. Good luck tomorrow. It's going to be a big day.
Good, thanks very much, Bress.
Vic Rail, trainer of Vo Rogue, and after the break, we'll be still taking a look at horses.